Okay, so we're just going to do a quick video on how to make your own frame sliders. So what you start with is this 2-inch extruded plastic. I just picked it up at an industrial paint and plastic store where, same place I'm getting all my fiberglass resin and, what's it called, cloth. Anyways, so obviously the first step is you want to figure out how long you want to go. So for me, this one I'm making now is just a simple 2 inches one. So, and just cutting it with a wood saw is pretty simple, as long as you have power. There. So there you go, 2-inch piece of extruded plastic. So
you got a letter this morning, I ring it red. You say, hurry, hurry, the gal you love is dead. Got a letter this morning, yeah, I ring it red.
So another important note is that many frame sliders is about 20 bucks worth of plastic. So I know some of these people are paying 20 bucks for one, or 40 bucks I've seen. So they're a little rough now. This is just step one, but you'll see they look good. They'll look good in the end. Okay, so the next step is we have to drill out a hollow space for the back of the bolt. Now, you'll have to pick your own way of attaching the frame sliders to your frame. You might just be using the stock bolt, in which case you won't have to, but I'm going to be just welding bolts to select spots. So I need a little spot to house the nut.
You say, hurry, hurry, because that gal you love is dead. There's a grabbed up in a suitcase, took her down the road. When I got there, she's mad.
And a pro tip is clean the plastic off as soon as you can, otherwise she hardens on there. It's a bit of a pain in the butt. So let's do a test fit. So there it is. That gives me just a little bit extra space for my weld gobs. And then it'll sit like that. And then we'll drill this end out so we can fit a bolt on there.
Golden boat, I grabbed up a suitcase, and I turned out down the road. I said, when I got there, she's laying on a cooling board. Then I walked up close, I looked down on her face. It's a good old gal, got the lay hair, till Judgment Day. I walked up close, I looked down in her face. I said, girl, girl.
So now we're just going to round the edge of the frame slider. As we said, catching and causing your bike to flip is the worst idea. So we want to round those off so it'll hopefully glide a little bit better. And it's pretty simple. Just get your router table set up that's that.
I say farewell, honey. I see you Judgment Day. I pull up my arms. Yeah, I walk away. the creek came along and drove my spirit away. I went in my room, yeah, I found a prayer. I said, well, the blues came along and drove my spirit away. You know, I thought I'd never love but 4 women in my life. My mother and my sister, 10 gal and my wife. I thought I'd never love, I said, but 4 women in my life. I said, my mother and my sister, my 10 gal and my wife. You know, I didn't feel so bad till the good Lord sent me down. I didn't have a soul to throw my arms around. I didn't feel so bad until the good Lord sent me down. And I didn't have a soul to throw my arms around. You know, I cried last night, that night before. I'm gonna change my way of living, so I won't cry no more. I cried last night, I said all that night before. I said I'm gonna change my way of living, so I won't cry no more.
Well, I'm guessing by now you see I've got 2 more frame sliders to add on each side. But it probably seems like a lot of overkill, but essentially the rules at our racetrack are if you crash you can't have any metal piece touching the track. So we've got to cover everything, and so I'm going to cover the 2 in the back, 2 in the front, and then a big guy here in the center. And what I'm doing now is the next step in the plan is to move these up and back, about equivalent to here. So right now if I tip the bike over, this is going to be the most dragging part, but in the future that won't be. So I'm just going to pop this off, tip the bike over, and then measure this distance so I get a nice kind of symmetrical slide. So we're hitting on that one. Now what I gotta do is measure that, and that's only 3 inches. But I think we're gonna go, actually let's do a test. So here's a test with a 4-inch. So here's a test. With a 4-inch piece. That's the slide plan.
home. Well, the sun don't go down, and not till Sunday I ain't ready back home.
Okay, so I ran out of time tonight, but the last step here is I'm going to put one more little 2-inch thing. Basically, I'm just going to build a little bracket that'll brace off this. I'm not going to weld to my forks. I'm just too scared, just because they are under pressure, and we don't want to either overpressure them, burn the fluid, and if you're welding and there's pressure behind it, it'll blow, the oil will blow through. So I'm not going to weld onto it, I'm just going to cut a little bracket, put a brace off here, and then stick another one identical to this, a 2-inch chunky little slider, put on each side. Other than that, we are done the frame sliders. So again, you might look at this and think, what's he expect to crash? Yes, I do. And our course rules at our local racetrack, mini racetrack, are basically you can't have any metal touching. So I'm going to have 5 points of safety to assure that I meet that requirement. So there we go. Thanks for watching.